See, at the heart of a person is the core of the person, like the continent. If you don't think that, if you want to know what's at the core of the continent, it comes up. They call it volcanic eruptions. That's directly from the core of the earth. You see? Look at the term core eruption. Have appeared on the land and on the sea on account of what men's hands have wrought. You're starting to see what's really in people because of uh, the plague of hail out of heaven. Allah has opened up some of his treasures and let you build up a world of technology and whatnot, and it's corrupting that. The majority of the people are becoming more and more corrupt. What was really deep down inside of them is being manifest. This world was set up for the perdition of ungodly men and women. See, this farm, the human body, was made to be the temple of truth, the temple of God. And you were told what you should do and what you should not do. Like last night, man asked me a question. What has Donald Trump did that violates the Constitution? I answered him, and then I told him that was a foolish question. If you ask me about the Constitution in a way of what has he did to violate it, that's a question that would generally be interpreted that you have looked at the Constitution and maybe you don't see no violations. Huh? Well then, I'll tell you what he did. The first thing that pops out is that fact that he swore to uphold the Constitution. That's the first thing. He violated his oath of office that the president is supposed to be the example of someone who upholds the Constitution. Secondly, he violated Mr. Kaepernick's right to peaceful protest when he interjected his hateful speaking instead of stopping other people and telling that man got a right to do that. His job is not to question the validity of the Constitution. If he questioned the validity of it, he shouldn't have become president. Then after making it clear to him, he wants to get back into some hypothetical opinions of whatnot. That is how people trivialize the truth. That's like if you ask me 2 times 3 is 6. Once you show me that and show me the proof of it, well, there's nothing left to discuss on that. It's time to move on. But if you want to keep on hee-hawing around at 2 times 3, yes, but 4 plus 2 is what that's got to do with it. You see, so that's the kind of world you live in. It's not that the truth is not present. It's just that you pick and choose on what truth you want to accept. When the truth ain't something that will go along with what you want to do, you pretend not to understand it, or you just sweep it aside. That's going to cost you. You see? You know, when you see people, it's like most of you, obviously you don't believe me when I told you I saw you walking around here, couldn't blink your eyes. Everybody who rejected Islam was what I was looking at. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad came right back. Before I even heard that, I saw that in the vision I had before I took this mission. I asked, what's wrong with them? Black people was walking around like zombies. White people was walking around the same way, but doing like that, with their mouth open, and their eyes can't blink. And I said, what's wrong with these people? And I was mad at them and didn't even know why I was mad at them. I forgot to tell you that. And I was walking with a sister, and I looked at one of them and said, "What you looking at?" And I was mad at him. Then I asked her, "What's wrong with them?" That these are your brothers and sisters who rejected Islam. Then I felt sorry for them. Then my mission began. First must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. But at the end of your rejection of me, I'm going to reject you. As the book says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And because you reject knowledge, I will also reject you. Yeah. And since you think I ain't nobody, that's fine. When you finally decide that I am somebody, I'm going to send you back. You know, that's just the way it goes. Some of you done stuck by me through everything. I will stick by you. Those others who just was straddling the fence, among men is he who serves Allah, standing on the what? On the verge. Huh? This is in Matthew. You know, you have to give people, you know, a lot of our people, they don't really believe in the Holy Quran because they ain't never seen one. But, you know, and then once they finally do see a Holy Quran with me, they start realizing that claiming ignorance of the Quran ain't going to help you because the Quran just verifies what the Bible said. And you've been knowing of the Bible all your life if you grew up in America. Huh? So it says in there, in the 34th verse of the 10th chapter of Matthew, it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Huh? It says, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father. I know that's the truth when I heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was the fulfillment of the coming of Jesus. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings caused a schism between me and my father and me and my mother. I couldn't believe what they taught me no more. I couldn't go along with the lifestyle that I had learned from them anymore. I'm come to set a man at variance, at disagreement against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Why the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law? Because me as a believing man, I wasn't finna go marry no disbelieving woman. My wife don't think like I think. And so naturally she gonna be against her mama-in-law. Which is my mama. Because I'm against what my mother taught. I love my mother, but I ain't going for what my mother went for. My mother didn't know what I know. And when she was made aware of it, she rejected it. As it's written, no man having drank the old wine straightway will drink the new, because he think the old is better. You see, it's like, I mean, young people, you know, I was a youngster back then. I had already gave up on what they was doing in church, because I saw the hypocrisy there. I wasn't never no hypocrite. Whatever I was, I was. You know, you think I'm just going to sit up in church pretending to go along with that? No, I left. Likewise, when I was sitting up in the temple, reason I didn't leave was because I believed what the messenger was teaching. That's why I'm holding on to it to this day. And my belief was not in vain either. As the messenger said, for you to accept Islam, black man, you just accepting yourself. He said, accept your own. This is my own. He said, and be yourself. And yourself is a righteous Muslim. So it's a whole lot of things that I've tried and tested with. But as it's written, the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper with him. That's right. In all their affliction, he was tried, he was afflicted. How in the world I'm going to be able to help you up through it if I didn't know how to go through it? I give you instructions that'll help you get through it. Ain't my fault because you didn't obey. You were told to hear and obey. You notice the man last night, he couldn't accuse me of disrespecting him. The man was playing with the truth, disrespecting the truth. No, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about that's my opinion. That's not no opinion. That's a fact. In the world, you're going to tell me it's my opinion if a man is exercising a constitutional right, which is what Mr. Kaepernick was doing. He was exercising a constitutional right. And when the president called him an SOB and suggested that he had did something wrong for kneeling when he was protesting, and that was his way of protesting or whatnot, the president was denying that man his constitutional right. He wasn't supposed to say nothing, but I acknowledge he had the right to do that. My personal feelings is my own personal feelings, and they don't come into play here. He has that right, and it will be upheld. That's what he's supposed to say. Coward. And I tell you what, I bet you he wouldn't walk up to David Kaepernick and to his face call him a SOB. Colin Kaepernick. Get bust in his mouth. Do a lot of big talk. That's the one thing about a behind whooping. That don't frighten me. I done had one before. Done gave a few too. I bet you may whoop me, but you won't want no more. Oh no, you ain't gonna come after me and think you gonna walk away feeling good about it. You may get the best of me, but I'm gonna get something in on you to remind you of what to expect next time you decide you want to come jump on me. You started, then I ain't got no choice but to defend myself. And I say to every one of you in here, if you don't feel that way, you ain't got no business with me. I mean, you might as well try to fight if somebody fighting you. Then they're rubbing. Huh. You just don't know, boy. I've seen so much injustice that, like I said, I don't have to get angry. But I'm trying to show you why this book reads like it reads. Disbelieving women is for what kind of men? Disbelieving men is for what kind of women? All right. So no wonder the daughter-in-law gonna be against the mama-in-law. Huh? Then it says, so it go without saying, the son-in-law gonna be against the mother-in-law. Is that right? And the father-in-law, right? You see? So it just goes that way. It's just like this world. The world didn't even tell you to be careful until you left it. Well, nobody, you was running up and down the street doing some of everything. Nobody telling you, all right, now you better be careful out there. But the minute you got behind the Son of Man, now everybody wants you to be careful. Why? Because they know that I'm not of their world and that you was leaving their world. And everyone that leaves their world makes them look just that much more guilty. I don't care who's listening. Listen all you want. All you're doing is drinking your own damnation. Because you ain't got no excuse. If you had something that you could accuse me of, you'd have been undid it. You know what Allah said about that? He said, who will lay anything to the charge of mine elect? It's kind of like all these years you've been in the world. Whenever you ever heard anybody in government accuse the FBI of wrongdoing? When? The only people who would accuse them is the ones who they investigating and finding fault with. Huh? The only people who accused the messengers of God of being wrongdoers was the people that they was warning about the wrong they was doing. Huh? That's why the curse of angels and of men will be on these people. They ain't even true to the world they say they part of. And if you couldn't be true to that which is least, who will trust you with the true riches? So it's written, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. That covers everything, don't it? And he that taketh not his cross, you know, the things that hurt, things that when your belief in me and in Allah comes between you and something that you want, well, that's part of your cross. Will you still obey me and do what you know I said do? Or will you care more about that world out there and care more about somebody else than you care for the one who saving your life? Time and circumstances will find you out. That's right. The only thing that I wanted to do when my leader and teacher was here, only thing I wanted to do was please my leader and teacher, period. Because I was a believer. And if to show you how much of a believer, you heard about this Clarence 13X fella that went out and started them 5%ers? He did that while the messenger was here. Huey Newton and all of them fellas went through the temple. How you think they start calling themselves Black Panthers? Start talking about black people back in the 60s. Well, nobody calling themselves black but Muslims. People going to the temple, taking the part they like and leaving. So when you see what happened to him, the messenger warned us. He said, either accept what I'm teaching or leave it alone. You can't pick over it. This is hard to do, even if you are sincere, because the world will constantly be pulling at you like gravity. What's the root word of gravity? Grave. Yes. So this is why when you first accept, you have great spiritual joy. That's what catches you up. You see, the grave have no more pull on you. But if you ain't careful, you'll fall back. You see, that's why when the messenger told us, he said, brother, you out of the grave, stay out of the grave. Sitting up talking about what you used to do. Oh, you missed that? No, I don't miss getting drunk. I don't miss getting high. I don't miss partying and all that. No, I do not miss that. Fools having a party in hell instead of working together to get themselves out of poverty. They there throwing parties. Well, go on, throw your party. I'll fix you. You know, like I said, this ain't no pastime for me. This is my life. And if this ain't your life, you don't belong here. Go on out there with the rest of the people who hate God. Hear his word and treat it like it's a story, a fairy tale. You're going to find out it ain't no joke. It ain't no fairy tale. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Soon Allah gonna run you out of all of these places in this country, gonna run you right there to the center of the country. And you're gonna be made to admit that you're driven by calamities. Then it's a surprise waiting on you. To fix you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that. I put the surprise there. But he said Allah will drive all of the people. He can move you off of his earth if he want to. Just like you can move cattle from one grazing pasture to another. Run them where you want to run them. You want to run them and get rid of them, you know how to get it. You know how to get rid of them. You find out who's in control of this planet after a while. So, all that's to keep you and me safe. Don't you know, if you only knew what the people was planning for you, you would not be thinking evil of me. You go out there with them. They'll show you. If you so in love with them, you see. But anyway, always remember, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And while you doing that, everything else being prepared for you. Allah said he gonna give it to you. He said you ain't got to go looking for it. He said all them things, the jinn looks for them things. Your heavenly Father knows that you have need of those things. So you just be in class, never miss. You'll be all right. Hey, every class that you notice, a baby, once the baby is conceived, that baby don't go in and out the womb. That baby's in that womb forever until it's time to get out of there and get into the bigger womb. Is that right? Baby don't miss no day in the womb. That's an ongoing process. You see, you all have to be reborn. You see, you are being shaped into members of the body. You see, what good is to have the body if it's not one with the head? So every member is being formed and shaped and being made one with the brain, with the head. So that when they come out, I and my Father are one. Huh? Right. So the Jesus, he told you that the Son of Man is the Father, the Spirit of truth. All things that the Father hath are mine. He shall receive of mine and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father hath are mine. Therefore said I that he shall receive of mine and show it unto you. Is it? No man ascended up to heaven, but he who came where? Down from heaven. No mind can ascend into the heaven, but the mind that came down from heaven. Even who? The Son of Man is the one that was in heaven. The mind that you call Son of Man, that was in heaven. Our Father, who art where? In heaven. Let thy kingdom come where? And thy will be done where? Come on down to the earth. Come down to this earthy plane with us and direct us to the heaven. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm answering the prayer. Ain't my fault because you don't believe. That's your fault. I offered you $20,000 if you could show what I'm saying that's wrong. And if you couldn't prove it was wrong, why didn't you submit? You got no excuse. So don't pay no attention to people that call themselves, can't see how y'all can follow that man. I got to have my freedom. That's the biggest slave walking around on the planet. Talking about your freedom. He that sinneth is the slave to sin. I need. So if you believe, then you and in me, then you will be my disciples indeed. That's why I tell you all the time, don't be out there misrepresenting me. You tell people you my follower, then be that. And if you shame of me, then I'm shame of you. You ain't got to be pretending with me. Just go. Somebody else will take that seat. I ain't worried about that. When you pass cells away from your body, other ones be taking their place. That's the normal. That's the natural way of things. Old cells pass off and new ones take their place, right? That's why I told you want to be more than just a cell. Be a part of the body. That way, old understanding will pass off and give way to new understanding. You see. And then that the organ, it'll stay there. You see. There you go. See, there's ways of, look at me. The old understanding that I had gave way to a greater and more depth understanding. You see, that's what perfection is. Perfection is moving more to reduce that knowledge to its simplest and best terms. You see, 51/100ths is an incomplete fraction. It's not complete until you say it in its simplest terms. Then you have perfected it. When you say 1/2, now that's perfect. Meaning what? If you change that, you have left completion and went back to incomplete. Is that right? You got to know when something is finished. You got to know when something is complete. This world, they never found out when they say that's it. That's complete. They say it could always be better. If it could always be better, then that means that there's never a best way. And the only mind that thinks things could always be better is someone who is not familiar with the best knower. You see, because he will take that which is best and he will corrupt it and think that his corrupting that thing is better than what it was before. But it's only better in his foolish mind. Huh? So that is the things that I want you all to kind of think over these things and recognize that, when you are in the circle of truth, when you get your mind in orbit around the truth, you will know it because you will have peace. You see, don't look so much for an answer. Look for the truth. Because if you're just looking for an answer, well, that's like saying you're looking for grass. Well, you can see grass everywhere. It ain't the same kind, though. There are many different types of grass. You see? So when you look for answers, look for the answer, not an answer. They had a song in the church say, God is the answer. He didn't say God is an answer. That God is the answer in the time of need. That's right. Well, that's true. It's because God is the truth. And in the time of need, you need to know the truth in order to deal with the problem that you're facing. People say, well, try this. Well, that's it. Yeah, try this. Somebody who knows say, do this. Is that right? Yeah. So I'm telling you that we witnessing the truth of the scripture that says, he that troubleth his own house shall inherit the winds of emotion. You notice, you got Congress and the Senate ignoring their own history. You know, it's just like a house that you in that's full of termites and all of that kind of thing, and the wind blow against it, and you see it kind of walls that used to be strong start swaying. Well, that house ain't living up to its history with you. Is that right? Well, there used to be a time when the Senate, if there were confirmation hearings, whatever came up, they would take their time and do the thing in a way that was transparent. That, you know, whatever needed to be found out about whoever was being selected or selected by them, could be confirmed without any dark cloud hanging over them, huh? Well, what happened to that practice? They trouble in their own house. And you know, when you trouble your own house, you cause your house to fall. A house divided against itself, what? So now they're going to get a chance to see how strong the foundation or the root is. You know, the FBI now, they the last line of defense. So, you know, you got a dysfunctional legislature and executive branch, and they're trying to make the Supreme Court dysfunctional. So, you know, yeah, I pity them. But now you're starting to see what it's like to know the right thing to do for your people and can't get your people to cooperate with you. Don't feel good, do it. So I'm going to let you go. I know you got things to do. So I'm going to let y'all go do what you got to do. And but remember, the word of Allah is not a joke. It certainly don't have no humorous climax. You know? So get in class, warn your people that those who you have not told. Once you give people the number to the conference room and give them all my numbers, then you don't have to worry about them no more. It's like if I take you to the doctor and you ain't got sense enough to let the doctor help you, well, that's on you. You know, I will, you know, I want to say to all of my followers, when I send you some help, tell somebody to help you, you be wise to accept the help that I sent you. If I sent them, then Allah is with them to help you. It's just like, I'll show you an example. We was going out selling fish and was lucky if we could sell 40 pounds in a whole day. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, any brother that's not selling at least 100 pounds of fish a day, he ain't got no business on the fish group. Now that's what the minister told us, that the messenger said, if you can't sell 100 pounds of fish a day, you need to do something else. You can't be on the fish group, because every one of you should be selling 100 pounds a day, at least. Me and Albert and Donald and Thomas and James and let me see who else. Well, that's a few of the brothers that was on the fish crew with me. We said, well, if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we should be selling 100 pounds, then we got to be selling 100 pounds, because if he said it's something that we need to be doing, Allah going to help us do it. We started selling 100 pounds, and then I started selling 200 pounds a day, because the messenger said do it. And so we all start immediately thinking of ways to do it. And we started going to East LA and different places, selling out 400 pounds. I mean, me and brother would sell 200 pounds a piece. And just, you know, I mean, if Allah's servant tell you to do something, and if you go out there on faith and attempt it, it will come to pass. If you trust that that is God talking to you. But otherwise, no, you can't do it. You remember the man was told go into the paradise, and he said it's full. It's because he didn't get it. No, it's only full if you don't trust that Allah know what He talking about. But if you trust that Allah know what He talking about, there's plenty of room for you. Faith, trust. As the book says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And lean not to your own understanding. If I tell you don't worry about a thing, don't worry about it. Okay. Let's have prayer. Hut, chant, hut. Original salute. Ready, front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continue to guide us and keep us on the right path and way, the straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will be brought down, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray, even after they have heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. Truly, I have again turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright, to thee who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Truly, my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death are all for thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. I know of no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults and weaknesses. So please grant me and my true followers and family continuous protection against all of our faults and weaknesses. For none grants protection against faults and weaknesses but thee. And guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts. For none can guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts but thee. And turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts. For none can turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts but thee. And O Allah, we beseech thee for thy help and ask thy protection. And we believe in thee and we trust in thee. And we seek thy help to laud thee in the best manner, and to never be ungrateful unto thee, and to cast off and to forsake him or her who is disobedient unto thee, and to remove from ourselves all things that are displeasing unto thee and beside thee. And O Allah, please let me remain a true believer, and let no man, woman, or child, or jinn deceive me and cause me to lose my reward nor my regard with thee. And O Allah, grant that we not only see the hereafter, but that we abide therein with thee. Ameen. Ameen. And Ameen. Hut. Original salute. Ready front. You may be seated. I noticed people sung songs. I remember this one song said, "We are soldiers in the army of the Lord." And then they get surprised that I call you to attention and you salute our ensign. And that, do you know of any war that wasn't fought by soldiers? And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. We have declared war on evil, that we will resist the devil. Every evil thought that we have, we will resist it with the thought of goodness. That's where our fight goes on. Our fight is a holy war, a war that goes on inside of our minds every day, 24/7. Resisting evil, submitting therefore to God, and resisting the devil. And those thoughts leave us, they pass. And every time they make another attack, we resist again. So all praise is due to Allah. So the minute you join with me, you become a soldier in the army of the Lord. So I'm going to let you go unless somebody had a question. It's like I told you. You notice the earth out here in the very big old universe. Ain't no guards around the earth that you can see, but every time something try to come through there, it get burned up. Told you I don't have to shut my meeting off to keep people from coming in here disrespecting me. I know what they're gonna get. I told you the same air that's connected to my brain is connected to every other brain on this planet. You ain't here. Them little creatures know exactly who you are and what you're doing. And they will fix you. Now, so that's how we tune up. He's saying so and so, he's thinking so and so, and that's just the way it is. You know, we're not afraid that you're gonna spring no surprise on us. You the one gonna get surprised. So don't y'all be afraid. You just go on and be Muslims. Do what Allah said do. And let Allah worry about those who think they planning evil for you. Am I clear? All right. So may Allah's salam alaikum.